everyone. Good afternoon and happy Friday. Welcome to day 4 of Google Week, Winning on Google with Surefire Local. I'm really glad to be here today. My name is Michelle Letman, and I have Jenny here as well to help me out by answering any of your questions throughout the webinar. We are really excited to welcome back Bob Sheehan, who was also our host on day 1. He's got a fantastic presentation for you all today, but before we get started, I wanted to ask you, what is one thing you are looking forward to learning today? Go ahead and write your answer in the question box. If you're looking for it, it's located in the webinar control panel on the right-hand side of your screen. So with that, I'm going to pass it on over to Bob. Bob, take it away.
Thank you, Michelle, and thanks everybody for taking some time out of your Friday afternoon to listen to us talk about Google and about the Surefire Local Marketing Cloud and kind of how the two of those things work together. The purpose of today's webinar is really to talk about how the details of how you work inside the cloud actually can help you to advance your website with Google. So I'm going to talk about all of these elements of it that you see on the screen today. Probably not in this order. I'll end up skipping around a little bit. We are going to do a live demo. And when you see anything, if you feel like you have any questions or comments you want to make, just put those in the chat box and we'll try to either answer them live or we will save them till the end. So with that, I will get started here and as I said, feel free to stop me if you have any questions. So I'm going to call up here, this is an instance of the cloud for a client we have in Delaware. And we start off with the idea of what we call see more, right? There's 3 things that we talk about in relation to the cloud around here in terms of why we built it and how it works. And it goes like this. It goes see more, do more, get more help. And so the initial piece of the cloud, the dashboard, the kind of the front end of it, is around the see more aspect of this, where you've got key website stats, right? You're able to look at, over the course of a 3 or 4 month period, you're able to look at statistics and data around, who's coming to the site, how many visits you're having, how long are they staying, are they leaving right away, right? What keywords are bringing them to the site? We use this a lot around here. And I know clients really like this as well, where we've got the ability to segment what keywords actually drive people to your website. The thinking behind that would be, hey, if I see something here that doesn't represent what I actually do, then I might want to think again. I might want to think about how I'm targeting the site, or how I'm writing it, or what's going on. We've also got a listings piece here, or listing score. One of the the core pillars of internet marketing and of visibility online is this idea of NAP consistency, name, address, and phone number across a lot of directories. And this gives us an idea, when you look at a score like 98%, gives us an idea that we've got a lot of good things going on there, right? And if we were to come in here and see, scores in the 50s and 60s, that would certainly be a problem, something we'd want to take a look at. So the idea of the dashboard and the way that we started this out was to basically say, if you're a business owner and you want to know what's going on online, right? How are you doing at the top line? How many goal completions? How many leads are you getting from the site? Then you'd want to be able to kind of come to a page like this that gives you everything all in one place. In addition to everything I just talked about, we've also got visibility here, which is an aggregate score of kind of how your rankings are doing, how your overall traffic is doing. And, so that gives us an idea not only for how we're doing, but how the competitors are doing in relation to us. So, it kind of starts with that. I want to see more. I want to understand what's going on with my digital footprint and, be able to, kind of see where things are so I can act on them, right? I'm going to skip down a little bit and talk about a little do more. Right, a few things that you can actually do in the site. Probably the place that we spend the most time and that we see customers spending a lot of time is this place of content, right? We publish right now something like 1,300 blogs a month for our clients, where we're posting articles that are keyword rich, keyword oriented, designed to get ranking for them. And so that this section here is how we do that. And so there's workflow built into it where we're able to send things to clients for approval and receive things back from them and edit the things that have been sent. And you can change content right in here, like a Word document. You can change publication dates, right? And so there's this idea of workflow of the stuff that we write, right, and the things that are part of the program. And there's also a piece where clients can do their own thing. So this is a very popular area here, where if you want to help yourself and you want to do a little bit more in terms of the Google piece, and you want to get some more social media out there, for instance, you can simply hit the social media button and pick a service to go to, and it will allow you to publish to Facebook. You can write a Facebook post in here. You can change the schedule and post it, post that thing anytime you want. So, what we find people doing is they come in here and they queue up a bunch of stuff. They get a lot of blogs and social posts and things ready to go, put them in here with future dates on them, and then the thing just runs. So it's like a timing mechanism, like in the future, and you can, simply do it all at once and then come back to it in another month when everything runs out and kind of put more in. There's also this send for approval piece, and I'm going to kind of back up a little bit here. But you have the ability to pass things around within your company. So a lot of times, we work with marketing directors, people who, marketing coordinators, folks who kind of need other people to be involved in what they do, and before it goes live on the site. And so there is this ability in here to send something to somebody else, right? And that's really key, because now we're not sending PDFs around. What we're doing is we're working within the same piece of content and simply sending it from one person to the next. What do you think? I get to write a note in here. Would you, do you approve of this? Do you want to make some changes? And then we're all working on the same piece of content, so that by the time it goes live, everybody's had their crack at it, and schedule it, and off you go. So the content piece is very much a do more kind of an aspect, and we've also got, in addition to the typical kind of how I think about publishing content, I've also got directories. So I want to manage my online presence. I want to manage my directory listings. I do that right from here. So we've got, at this point, there's about 74 directories that we syndicate to. And for instance, if you had a change in your business description, or maybe the address, and you wanted to put a different address in here because maybe your business moved or you added a new one, all of that gets done from here. And when you press the submit button, it goes to all 74 directories instantaneously. And in real time, you can really make changes to what's going on with you. One of the best use cases for this is what's going on right now. We've got Memorial Day weekend here, and you got special hours. A lot of people are closed on Monday. This is the kind of thing you should be going in here and putting in your special hours and making those changes to your profile, so that you can reflect reality on your Google My Business page and on your website and everywhere else. Along the lines, continuing along the do more piece is this idea of reputation. So it's one of the key things that's going on right now with how Google evaluates companies and evaluates websites, is this idea of, how many reviews do you get? What's your average ranking score, right? Do your customers love you, right? If they do, and they're saying that online, that's going to help you. And so we've been encouraging with our clients, and we know if you read the blogs and the press out there, it's a big deal in the internet marketing space, to be able to go out and get more reviews, right? You need more. And there's no magic number. It's just kind of like, more, this ongoing idea of getting customers to say good things about us. So what we do is we reflect the score here. This customer's got 233 reviews. Request or reflect the score, in this case, a 4.6, but we also bring all the reviews in, right? So now we can take a look at them and understand what's going on and address issues. We tell folks, and I would tell you here, if you have a review online and you're wondering whether to respond to it, the answer is yes. Doesn't matter whether it's a 1-star or a 5-star or anything. And in this case, we provide that capability right inside the cloud. So this is a customer who responds to every review, and you can see the comments here. So what happens is they come in here, they use the reply button, and they fill out their response to the review. In many cases, it's we're glad you loved us. Thank you very much. Very straightforward. And submitting that here then sends that response directly back to the place where it originated. So you've got the connectivity into that, Google or Yelp or wherever, and you're doing that all on one password inside one interface, so that you can literally go through and answer 10 or 15 of these all at once, and it's not a big deal. So what we're trying to do here, from a Google perspective, and I know the title of this webinar is about how can you help yourself with Google using the cloud, and that's what we've done here. Is we've brought in really two of the most important pillars of online presence, which is directory listings and reputation, and given people the tools to manage those two things directly from here. Add content into that, and you've got quite a bit of the levers that you need to pull online right inside one password that can propagate across all of your internet and do it all from one place. So along the lines of, again, back to Seymour, right? We've got the ability to understand how leads are going, right? We know that most of our customers, something like 98% of our customers, are in some form of home services business, or in some cases we have some medical clients too, who are very concerned about the response rates and the getting of leads online, right? That's why we do this. So there's an ability in here to understand where the leads are coming from, right? Whether they're phone calls or form submissions and total goal completions. We have the ability to look in here at each one of those, and then we can also do things like take action on phone calls. So we don't necessarily recommend that you do this, but it's a really useful thing if you're wondering how your phone is being answered, to go through here and listen to a bunch of your phone calls. Typically when we do that, customers are surprised at what's happening on their telephone and how their customers are being handled up front. And so that provides that kind of the data that will help you to script and to do the right thing with the phone call up front, so that you can then turn more of that into leads, right? But it all starts with having that information. So we bring that kind of leads tab in here that lets you see, what percentage of my responses are phone calls and form submissions, right? Where are they coming from? Are they real, right? Are they turning into anything? And so we've got a lead manager here that allows us to understand who these people are, right? When did they come to us? They give phone and email, right? And we're able to go in and look at these records and compare them to the CRM inside your company, like a Market Shop or an Improve It 360 or one of those, and figure out whether you're getting leads from the internet that are actually setting as appointments, and whether you're selling any of them. So this idea of making that connection over into the website really gives us the insights into understanding how things are working. And in this world, typically the definition of working is getting more leads, right? Most of our customers, they ask us about things like rankings and traffic and all of that, and it's certainly interesting. But separated from leads, really that stuff doesn't mean much. We really need to be focused on leads, and so we're providing that visibility in here. Speaking of visibility, we've got the capability, and it may take a few seconds to get in here, but there's a tool that we have, and we track visibility across a long time frame, and we track that against competitors. So in this case, there's several competitors up here, and we've got a client who is on aggregate basis ranking for hundreds and hundreds of words. And the combined rankings of all of that and the combined traffic that comes from all of that becomes this ranking visibility score, right? And we want to see that score be, up most of the time, and we want to see that score be better than competitors, right? On average, competitors, score X and we score Y. We'd like to certainly be doing better than that. And it helps us to understand over a period of time when we work with customers whether the things that we're doing are helping them to, grab market share from folks. So there's an important component of kind of how we think about this. And then we're able to look at too, how am I doing locally in Google? How am I doing, in Google that's not sorted locally, so that, what would I be looking like to a person who maybe wasn't even in my market? And how would I be looking, for instance, with Bing and, keywords and rankings and traffic and all of that. So in addition to just visibility, we've got the idea of being able to come in here and understand how we're doing on things like organic search, right? How the overall picture is looking, right? What percentage of my traffic is organic? In this case, the number one source of traffic here is organic. And how does that relate to the other sources? And, is it doing well, right? What do the keywords look like that are bringing people to my website? What kind of search impression activity am I getting for the different keywords that matter to me, right? What pages matter the most on the site? Should I change any of these pages, right? Are they getting more or less traffic? All of that information can be gathered from inside this dashboard in a way that will kind of put it all in one place, right? When you take all of these sources, there's something like 90 sources of data in here. And when you take all of that, right, and put it on a single date range and compare it to another time period and look at all of the data sources together in the same structured way, then you can really draw some insights and you can really try to figure out, by looking at this, what to do next, right? The goal of all of this is so we can figure out, what's next, right? What should we be focusing on? Are we winning? Are we not winning? Right? What do we do? What do we need to do to win? Right? So I look down here, and this is one of my favorite places inside here to really understand what's going on. But we get a state-by-state look of organic traffic or direct traffic or phone calls and where all that's coming from, so that we know, am I getting traffic where it matters, right? I don't care about, if I don't live in Utah, I don't care about organic traffic in Utah. I care about it where I am. So we've been able to kind of put that view together and give people an idea of whether we're up, down, or sideways in the local market. Surefire local, we're all about local traffic, and succeeding on that local basis so that we can get you more leads. You're not likely to get leads on increasing traffic in places where you don't do business, obviously. So, those are the kind of the top line components of what we call see more and do more. And then the third kind of leg of the stool that we talk about around here is this idea of get more help. And all of our programs have an option to have a strategist to work with you, right? So that when you come in here and you're working with a strategist, then they're coming in and looking at the same kind of data with you, and they're asking you questions and kind of working with you on, what should come next? How do I do this? How do I do that? Why do I do this, right? And so that's the get more help piece, is that in various different programs that we have, you're able to kind of get help at whatever level you want. Some people want a little help. Some people want us to do everything. Some people want no help at all, and that's fine. We actually can set up instances of the cloud for you without buying any services from us, right? You don't have to have us do this. But it's all kind of starts with having that data all in one place, structured the same, able to look at things over a common date range, and kind of understanding how it all relates to each other. So with that, I think I'd like to kind of turn it back to Jenny for, I think she has something to talk to us about.
Thank you, Bob. So before we get on to what I'm sure most of you have been waiting for, which is the grand prize. I wanted to jump in here and ask what you've learned so far and if you have any questions for Bob. You can go ahead and put them in the question box, and then we can ask Bob those during the Q&A. And as you can see, we're going to launch a poll, and there's a lot you can do with the Surefire Local Marketing Cloud, and that is why partnering with an expert like Surefire Local can help you perfect your online presence and make sure your digital marketing is working as hard as you do. We're offering one-on-one calls with our digital marketing experts so that you can get advice on your unique situation. We're scheduling these calls for next week on Tuesday and Thursday. The poll is now open for you to pick a time. If neither of those days work for you, just please email me to pick a time, and we will help pick out a time that works best for you. All right. So while people are answering that poll, we actually had a few questions come through, so we'll just start with one. So the one question we got was, can I add the Surefire Cloud to my existing website, or do I need to get a new website with you?
You can add the cloud to your existing site and to your other sources as well. So there's, as I said, there's something like 90 data sources inside here. So there's connections for webmaster tools. There's connections in here for analytics and the tools around ranking and AdWords, and I'll show you. These are the connections that exist that are kind of serviceable by us, right? And then there are a lot of other data sources that come in here that we set up in the back end. But Facebook, Twitter, Google My Business, WordPress is the website, Instagram, right? Foursquare, YouTube, LinkedIn. This phone campaigns is tracking phone numbers that we put on websites. You can actually do that on a site that you bring to us rather than one that we build. Doesn't matter. Directory listings is something that we provide through the cloud, visibility, and then analytics, webmaster tools, and then Google AdWords. So you've got all that kind of the data around what you're doing, as well as the connection to your site. And when you put all that together and provide you with that ability to act, then you've got something that's really useful. That's the whole idea.
Great. All right, another question that we had was, how many phone numbers can you connect to the cloud for tracking purposes?
I've seen people connect more than 100. I've had some clients that really have a lot of campaigns going on, and they want to bring in all of that data, and they get wild with tracking phone numbers, and we bring them all in. It doesn't matter. So there's no limit.
Another one we had come through actually from Douglas. He wants to know, do you have an idea on the amount of time per week your customers spend on SEO? He said they're a small company.
You're a small company? Yeah, it varies a lot. Some people have a lot of interest in this and do a lot themselves, and some people don't. But I would think that using a tool like this and the things that we do in the background, right, as part of a program where we're constantly keeping up the site, and there's a lot of things that you don't need to even think about, but just kind of working on this, I would think it's no more than a couple hours a week. This should not be something that you need like a half of a person or a full person for. We try to bring it all in a place where it's easy to kind of manage, right? Make sure that the basics are done as part of the base program, that we keep the site clean and fast, and so Google likes it, right? So that it's structured right. And then connect up the right things. Make sure the directory listings are in a good place. Make sure you've got kind of all the structured data on the site that's supposed to be there, and it should not be an onerous thing. You shouldn't have to go hire somebody to run this. This is pretty straightforward.
Awesome. Another question we had from Jacqueline. She wants to know, what's the difference of your cloud versus Google Analytics?
Well, Google Analytics is only a piece of this, right? So Google Analytics will give you traffic data, and pretty much only traffic data. It's bringing in, who's coming to the site, what are they doing when they're there, what pages are they visiting, how long are they staying, who are they, right? That kind of data. For instance, Webmaster Tools is also a Google product, but it's different kind of data. Now you're talking about search activity only, and it's looking at things like the health of the site. the indexing of the site. How many pages of your sitemap are actually ending up in Google's index? And you know, is Google seeing what you think they see, right? It gives you that kind of visibility into how Google feels about the machine, Google, right? How it feels about what it sees on your website. You know, the speed of the site is an important component of that. You get that in Webmaster Tools, you don't get it in analytics. So, you know, we think it's the whole picture that matters, right? You can, like when I was running campaigns a lot, and I've done this, you know, for a long, long time, um, it, to me, it was always piecing the pieces together from various different places, right? And when we started the business and we were doing this, um, you know, I might have 10 or 15 windows open at one time trying to figure all this out, right? And that gets hard because now you got different date ranges, you got different kinds of data. You're not really looking at the same thing every time you open up a new source, right? Where the way we've done it here, and we did it because of this problem, right? We developed this whole thing because it was hard to look at all of this stuff. But the way we've done it is it's all in a common date range. It's all structured data, so you're looking at the same kind of thing for every data source, and then you can really start to draw some conclusions, right? You can look at the relationship between, you know, the traffic that comes in and the posting activity that you've got going on, or, you know, blogs, and how is that working, and how does it all fit together? And that was the purpose behind this, was to figure out how to run a campaign with all of the need to look at all this different kind of data, without having to open and close all of these windows all the time to try to figure out what you were doing.
Awesome. We actually have another question from Jacqueline. If our CRM is recording our calls, will that affect your cloud capabilities to record our calls?
No. Typically what happens is we would use tracking phone numbers on the front end on our system, and those are the numbers that actually record. They go on the website and they transfer the call to wherever you're currently receiving the call, right? So there's no connection between the two. You can still record them on that end, but this system would record them as well. And we do want to do that because that way you're looking at all your leads at once, right? Typically in a small business, 2/3 of the leads come in from phone calls, right? About a third on form submissions. And so you want to make sure that we've got that tracking on the front end that's connecting to analytics and providing that goal completion data so that you can, you know, understand the full picture, right? How is all of it working? The other thing to remember about phone calls is the world is going mobile. More than 65% of the traffic we see going to, you know, home services websites now is mobile. And in a mobile environment, people really don't fill out form submissions. They mostly do the click to call thing and they call you right away. So that's almost all phone calls. The world is shifting more towards phone calls now. And so that means that we have to, number one, figure out how to track all that stuff and make sure that we're in the right place with understanding how it's working. And then we have to get really good at answering the phone calls because that's where it's headed, right? There's a lot more traffic there now than there used to be.
Great. Another question that kind of goes along with the phone, the calls. How many phone numbers can you connect to the cloud for tracking purposes?
Yeah, I think I answered that one earlier, but there's hundreds. We've had customers that have elaborate programs with many phone calls, many phone tracking numbers, and we bring them all in. There's no limit.
Great. And then the last question we have here is, can everyone see all the emails sent or only the ones you personally send?
I'm not sure I understand that question. The emails from what? There's no emails in here.
Okay. We don't have any other context on that. But we
Yeah,
can
if you want
definitely
to,
follow up. We can definitely follow up and
yeah, maybe we can follow up separately, or whoever put that question in, if you go to the chat window and just kind of clarify a little bit which emails you're talking about. Like there's the website, right? And then your email is kind of attached to that domain. But we're not sending and receiving emails in here in the normal sense. There is the one place there is emails is this reputation piece, and I'll show you here, because you can reach out and ask people to put in reviews. So you put somebody's name, first name, last name, email in here, and you can reach out to them and send them an email that asks them to put in a review. But that's an email that comes from here and goes directly to one person. Nobody has visibility into that. You're not exposing that to anyone else.
Okay, dokie. All right, well, those are all of our questions. Thank you everyone for sending those in. Those are all really great. So for now, we're going to move on to what I'm sure most of you have been looking forward to, which is our grand prize. And our grand prize consists of one Google Home, one Google Chromecast, a free copy of Mark G. Richardson's book, Control Your Day Before It Controls You, The 7 Steps to Time Mastery, a free website worth up to $3,000, and $300 towards Google AdWords if you sign up for one of our marketing packages. So today's lucky recipient of the grand prize is Mark Wadden. Congratulations, Mark. Please email marketing@surefirelocal.com with your full mailing address, and we will ship that right out to you.
Congratulations, Mark.
And huge thanks to you, Bob, and to everyone for taking the time out of your day to join us for Google Week. We hope you learned something new in these last 4 days, and we look forward to seeing you in our future webinars. So you can check out what's coming up next on our website. There's a link at the top of our homepage. Bob is actually doing another one next week on Thursday at 4 p.m. Please take a minute to fill out the survey at the end and let us know how we did today and what topics you would like to hear about in the future. We love checking out the topics you suggest when we plan our webinar schedule. Thank you again, and have a great afternoon, and enjoy your long weekend.
Thanks, everybody.